record. So today we're going to take a look at two more sections of chapter 13. The first one is list view control. And it's one of those where it has to have a name, but when you see it, you get a better understanding of what a list view control is. And, you know, it's one of these where if I show you a list, you can come down and click right out of the list. So in your programming world, you know, you start learning about some things like, well, if I have a list that sort of reminds me of an array, and hopefully in programming, as you go through all of these courses, when you see things, it reminds you of certain data structures, of certain, how would I code this kind of moments in order to apply what you need to do, like display this, and how you would handle it with actual code. Okay, so a list view control, it's going to go ahead and it's going to display a list of items for us, and it's going to let us pick one from the list. So much of what we're doing, I go back to Microsoft Word, you know, and I start thinking about all the menu options in Microsoft Word, and you know, a list is one of those. Give me an example of a list. How about a font? You know, if you click on that drop down menu, that menu is actually a list view control, and you can scroll over it and pick the one you want. Okay, so what do? We can retrieve a selected item. Georgia could be one of my fonts, and I could go and actually get the word Georgia. And in the same respect, I could also retrieve, I could say, instead of getting the actual name by returning the name, I could return the location. I could get an index out of that. So again, I'm starting to think about this as being some sort of an array of items, usually names of some sort, that I would put in my list view control so that I could go and get. Let's see, some things that are going on. 13.7 was a code listing that you had. Again, somebody said it the other day, look at all those chickens. No, look at all those import statements, okay? And again, a couple of you are still confused. We are using the 7th edition of the book. And in this edition, chapter 13 is Java FX. It's not Swing. Okay, that was the last edition. We switched over to Java FX. So if you're not using the 7th edition, that's where your problems are coming in. All right. So I need that for my list view. I want to create a list view. You notice that I give it a size, so on. And here's where I have a method called get items, and I want to add these items. So I create it, create the control, then I go and I have a way of retrieving it. I'm going to get the selection, I'm going to get the item, and if you take a look down here, I'm going to add it to a vertical box, which has 3 vertical items in. When I click on get to selected, after I click a name, it's going to display it for me. Okay, so I'm able in this case to get the name. Okay, get the name, and I'm going to put it on the button, or put it down here so that it displays once I get it. Up here, I'm actually getting it, and here I'm putting it in that text. Kind of, you know, and this chapter is one of those where once you have the code, you know, then you cut and paste a lot of stuff. And the one person whose name is Long, who actually submitted a first round for Sal's Pizza, you know, I'm sure there was a lot of cutting and pasting going on. 13.19, let's see, another code listing, one that you typed in. Again, there's that list view, which was something new. This time I'm going to create a list of names: Steve, Bethany, Will, and Katrina. I come over to the next page. This time I have an action listener, but this time I'm going to get the selected item instead. Either way is fine. Now, a moment ago, we just looked at what we call selection mode, and I did a single selection. I only picked one, but that was okay for when we did font. But there's going to be times where I might want to get multiple things out of a list, okay, and do multiple selections. What can I do? Well, you've done things like this before. You click on one and hold down. I do this when I go to empty my download folder with all my programs after I've graded them. I click on one and I scroll down, holding the mouse down, and then I delete them all. Or I click and hold control and go through and get non-consecutive ones so I can select them and then delete them. And again, how do we do this? Well, we get selected items, we get selected indices. Instead of doing a single one like we did a moment ago in a single selection, we're able to do multiple ones. So you got the idea of what we're talking about here. Everything's good. Yes, no, maybe. Code listing 1320 had information about that. The next overview. Yeah, basically these are in fact overviews with these chapters because you need to understand the concepts, and everything about what to do with them comes from that. The next one's kind of needed to control, or excuse me, a combo box control, not a control box combo, but a combo box. And this one allows us to select an item from a drop down list. Again, I'm going to go back to Word. And in Word, I get a nice drop down list of font size. Okay. The other thing I can actually do is type a new font size. But this combo box is one that's going to work with something like a combo box. It's going to let me go down. It's a combination of a button and a list. You sort of have the two kind of things going on. And again, here's an example here. I have a combo box that's blank. I click on it, and all of a sudden I get a list that follows, and then I select one of them. I select the font size. And what's nice in Word is we're even able to type in that window if we need to. Methods that go along with it. Get value. Obviously, I have that one highlighted. Set editable, which is kind of important. That's going to allow me to edit this box. Can I go ahead and put a number in different than what's in the list or not? So we have, as always, with these data types, remember, these are classes. Over here, when I get ready to work with this, I'm working with the class combo box. All the classes have methods to go with them. So what are my other notes here for combo box? Again, I'm instantiating an object. The object's name is name combo box. I'm going to get items to put in my combo box. Okay, and again, I can set a default one if I want. I can make it editable if I want, but this is a combination of a button and a list. Oh, what else do we have on? Most of what I have is notes from, here, set editable, the font size, from the code listings. So let's go take a look at code listing. Well, here's table 13.6. I mentioned that already. Here's the code listing for you to go and retrieve it. It's kind of nice. I highlight the combo box that I'm going to import. I come down, I create a combo box, and I put items in it right away. Again, for you to memorize the syntax, unless you're doing it daily, would be really difficult. For you to be able to find it and cut it and paste is a little bit different. Oh, what's really nice, as always, documentation. This helps me create the combo box. You might be able to do a label by hand now because we've done so many labels and we've done so many buttons. Okay. And buttons, select on action, set text. Again, we're just dealing with the syntax of what's going on. And another example is the picture over here. I come down, I get it. It's actually selected. And once it's gotten, I can use it somewhere else. For example, throwing it on that label. Questions about combo boxes. We like combo boxes. No? Quiet class today? Okay. So, up to this point, your Sal's Pizza had radio buttons on, and your Sal's Pizza had check boxes. And we played around, and hopefully you started that. I know Long did. Well, what I want you to now add to your Sal's before it's due on Sunday, I want you to add a list, because if you take a look at the list, and this is takeout, this is the year of takeout food, what from the list might you want to order? You might want to order plates and napkins, plasticware. So this could be a list where you could select multiple things. Let's say you're going to do pickup. Over here, I want you to have a combo box that has a couple locations for Sal's Pizza. They come down and they select one of the combo boxes. All right. So you're going to add to this guy. So now you can click and see what the price is. Now, when you click order, like if I click order, you're going to see you ordered a small pizza with extra cheese. You will be getting blah, 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 blah. You can pick it up at location, blah, 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 blah. That's a lot of blah, 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 blahs in there.